Hey yo, what is up FPG fam? Further here and welcome back to another Aether Gazer video. Today we're going to be talking about the man Anubis. Now a few things that we have to note before we jump into it. First and foremost, I don't have the man built up like I want to. I haven't been able to use him extensively, and the reason being is because I don't have him built up. So I haven't been able to test him with my own build. So I'm not going to be able to do the normal traditional breakdown like I did with Bastet in the last video. Once again, resources are scarce and I'm slowly building them up with what I have. So you just have to bear with me on that. But I have been using them in the trial and I have a decent understanding of what he's capable of and how good he is, which I do think he's phenomenal. I think he offers a lot. And so I want to highlight the really good things about Anubis and what you probably should know. So I thought it was important to get this video out for you guys so you don't make mistakes and you understand what's really good about this modifier in particular. But I can't do my traditional breakdown because once again I don't have them built up and I haven't used them in like really hard content like I normally do with these modifiers to get a great understanding of their kit. So you're just gonna have to bear with me. I will come out with that video. I just have to build them up. It's gonna take some time. So I do appreciate the understanding. So with that being said, let's go ahead and highlight what I think is important to know about Anubis. But before we do, a quick massive shout out to the sponsor of the channel, GamerSupps. Now right now is the best time to go ahead and get anything from GamerSupps if you were planning on it. Let's say, for example, you've been hearing my shout outs to them, you've been interested in getting something, but you just haven't pulled the trigger yet for whatever reason. This would be the time to do it. They are doing a massive deal slash sale that I think you should jump on right away. So if you spend a certain amount of money, you do get something for free, and that goes up to $150. You can get a free sweater, free hoodie, free things all over the place. It is a phenomenal deal. They have back in stock the JJK flavor and cups that look amazing and they taste great. You should take advantage of that. Once again, if you were ever planning on getting something from GamerSupps, you just haven't yet, this would be the time to do it. If you ever thought about supporting the channel at any point in time by getting something from GamerSupps, this would be the time to do it. You can click the link in the description down below. It takes you right over to GamerSupps and then pick up anything that you want. Use code FurtherBeyondGaming at checkout. Get 10% off as well, everything in the store. And if you meet some of those thresholds, and you do get something for free. So it's a win-win-win situation for you, and you also once again help the channel so we can do bigger and better things. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I do truly appreciate it. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop into it. Now this is my current build for Anubis. Once again, I'm still working on him. As you can see, the skills aren't all leveled up like I like them to. I don't even have functor on my man or the access key leveled up as well. No sigils, no warps. It's been rough out here, I'm telling you. And that's one of the things I wish that they would, as a quality of life feature, is put, you know, like sweep tickets or skip tickets for the resource daily grinding, because it's just kind of tedious to have to go in there each and every time to do an actual full-on combat and waste time doing that. There should just be a skip and be able to get all the resources that you need, because it's tedious. It takes a lot of time. Plus I'm running out of coolant, so that's why. Anyways, when talking about the skills, I think Anubis once again is a phenomenal modifier, a great DPS modifier. He is rage, melee, and of the Nile gen zone and shadow. I did that in a convoluted way. Once again, I'm going to figure out how to do that in a more precise way. So you have to keep that in mind. Now with his skills, he's just doing a whole lot that I do truly enjoy. I love his gameplay style, by the way. Also, I know somebody asked me, because I heard through the grapevines that he was kind of boring, not fun to play, and things of that nature. And I can maybe see that down the road. If you're playing him all the time, you might just get bored of his playstyle. But currently right now, he's right up my alley. He's flash and fasty flashy and fast and all over the place. Jeez, I don't know why that was so difficult for me. Flashy and fast and all over the place, and that's my play style. So I've been truly enjoying him. I love the jackal being out, or the doggo being out on the field as well, helping you out. I think that's incredibly fun. And then merging with him like a Power Ranger, I think is one of the coolest things also. So I've just been having a very good time using him in the trial, and I do want to get him built up so I can actually use him with my own current build. But what you need to know is the man's doing shadow damage on everything that he's doing. He has the passive of the Jackal Spirit that's going to lock onto the enemy that you're locked onto and do damage as well. He's going to be out on the field for 30 seconds, and it's a really good time while he's out there. For skill 1, he's going to be doing shadow damage as well, but you're also going to increase your crit rate by 15% for 4 seconds by hitting an enemy. So you have to keep that in mind. That's a really nice buff that you get right there. 15% is not the highest of numbers, but it could get you, if you're at like 35%, getting you to where you want to be crit rate wise, at least for 4 seconds is really nice. And then you're going to be able to do more shadow damage when the Jackal Spirit is on the field, and hitting an enemy will change your skill 3 to the Jackal's Gaze, and then the Jackal Spirit will immediately launch a joint attack on target locked on mod, and it's going to deal even more shadow damage. So you can see that right there for skill 1. Moving over to skill 2, once again going to be doing a pretty nice percentage of shadow damage, and you're also going to increase your shadow damage by 20% for 4 seconds. So this is where you want to be doing both skill 1 and skill 2, because crit rate for skill 1 increasing, and then for skill 2 getting the increase on your shadow damage, and they're both for 4 seconds. So you're getting a nice buff for at least 4 seconds when you're doing both. And then once again, for when the Jackal Spirit is on the field, gonna launch a joint attack, and that's gonna deal additional shadow damage. So the man is just doing a lot of shadow damage all over the place, which is gonna lead to talking about the sigils you should put on your Anubis, and it's not the recommended. Anyways, moving on from there, then we have the skill 3, which is gonna summon the Jackal Spirit. So ideally what you want to do when you first start the battle is get this guy out as soon as possible, the Jackal Spirit, so that way you can then go into your enhanced skill 1s and skill 2s and have, you know, the Jackal Spirit on the field doing damage as well. But you can see the dealing shadow damage to 100% attack. Well, actually that goes up much higher. It's at level 1 for me, so it's 100% right now, but obviously maxed out, that's going to be much higher. And then the Jackal Spirit deals shadow damage of attack to surrounding area, and then the skill would be replaced with Jackal Gaze instead if it's already on the field. And then Jackal Gaze deals shadow damage to that percentage of attack, and then the Jackal Spirit will do the follow-up attack, the launch attack. So that is skill 3. So essentially what you need to know is that skill 3 is going to bring the Jackal out, skill 1 is going to give you an additional crit rate, and skill 2 is going to give you an additional shadow damage. And then for the ultimate, you're going to go ahead and merge with the Jackal Spirit. Now keep in mind, you can only do the ultimate if the Jackal Spirit, your doggo's out on the field. If the doggo's not out on the field, you can't do the ultimate. So once he is, you can do the ultimate. And what's really nice about Anubis is he has a pretty significant team buff. I think I talked about Anubis not being that great of a support character, and even if he was doing some supporting capabilities, it's not going to be anything too significant. Well, I stand corrected. I didn't realize that his ultimate is going to increase all team members' attack by 35% for 10 seconds and reset skill cooldown. Once again, mine's at level 1, so you have to keep that in mind, but that is significant. 35%, and that's significant for team members like, let's say Bastet, for example. That's really going to boost their damage up really nice. So he's a good modifier to have as an ally. So even if he's in the AI slot, he's going to be really nice for that ultimate. But you know, as a lead with you piloting him, giving that buff to your AI is going to be really nice. So that 35% is pretty cool. And then resetting the skill cooldowns as well is really nice. And then when the mod and Jackal Spirit are 1, skill 3 will be replaced with Jackal Wild Slash instead, and has a cooldown of 8 seconds. Each time a normal attack is launched or a skill is cast, an additional attack will be triggered, dealing more damage. The first strike of the normal attack will trigger a stab attack, which will deal shadow damage. And then the stab can be triggered once every 2.5 seconds. And then other strikes of the normal attack will trigger a claw attack that deals shadow damage. And then casting Jackal Charge deals additional shadow damage. And then the remaining cooldown of the Jackal Charge will be shortened by 5 seconds upon hitting an enemy. And then casting the Jackal Whirl deals additional shadow damage equal to that attack percentage in total. And then the remaining cooldown of Jackal Whirl will be shortened by 5 seconds. I mean, this ultimate it's beefy. It's a paragraph. And then casting Jackal's Wild Slash deals additional shadow damage once again. And then you gain 2.5% ultimate skill charge when a teammate or the Jackal Spirit defeats an enemy, or when the Jackal Spirit's joint attack hits, and that effect can trigger once every 2 seconds. So Mance is popping off with this ultimate. This is one of the most beneficial, beefy, long essay ultimate that you can have in this game. It's really fun. It's a really good ultimate, and I like it a lot. Now, talking about the ultimate skill chain, it's actually really nice. The only problem is that it's tied to Sobek, and this ultimate skill chain should have been tied to Bastet, but I digress. It is what it is. And the issue for me is I don't have Sobek built up, and I don't plan on ever building Sobek up. So for me, I'm never going to be using this ultimate skill chain, which is unfortunate because For the ultimate skill chain, you're going to become one with the Jackal Spirit for 15 seconds. Once again, now when the skill hits, increases the attack of all team members by 45% and increases their ultimate skill charge speed by 60% for 15 seconds. That is massive. So you're going to give them additional percentage, another, what, 10% attack boost and ultimate skill charge by 60%. They're going to be popping ults even more often. Once again, I always think of Bastet. This is going to be so beneficial because she's doing ultimate more often. She's hitting even harder. This is so good for Bastet. So it's unfortunate that it's tied to Sobek. If this was tied to Bastet herself, this would be amazing. Also resets the mod skill cooldown. I forgot about that. So, and then this increases the melee damage of all team members by 30% for 15 seconds when the skill hits. That is insane. Once again, for Bastet, this would be phenomenal. But really good for Anubis also. This is just a really good ultimate skill chain. It's just unfortunate that it's tied to a character like Sobek. If you're a Sobek main, you're eating good. You know, you're cooking. And that's really nice, but for myself, it's not the greatest thing in the world. Anyways, moving over to the access key and the Sig functor. Obviously, his signature functor is going to be the most beneficial. Now, I heard people griping that it doesn't work with the ultimate, which is unfortunate. It really should just work with the ultimate. But even besides that, it's going to be his best in slot. You're definitely going to want to put it on him regardless. If not, then the general 5-star one that you can get in the shop would be probably the next best option to go ahead and use with him, and then anything else from there after, right? But obviously his Sig functor is going to be the best thing that you can put on him. Now, does he need the Sig functor? I don't think so. Once again, it's hard for me to say because I haven't used him to that degree like I have with Bastet to be able to say that. You know, when it comes to Sig functors, what I'll have to say is that you can always get them down the road. You don't have to chase them, especially with Thor coming up in 2.0. My recommendation would be, if you're free to play or new to the game, go ahead and just grab the one in the shop. Just use that on him. It's going to be fine. He'll work out well with it. And then if you want to grab it down the road, you can whenever you have the opportunity. Now, moving on from there, Sigil. So this is what I really wanted to talk about when it comes to Anubis. Is these sigils, because the recommended one that they go ahead and tell you to go ahead and put on them, I don't think is going to be the best option for them. So the recommended set that they tell you to go with is this one right here, the feather, and the new one, the scale of matte. So these two, I understand why they're saying this as recommended, because this is for rage to increase attack and then get rage quicker, and this one is going to be for the ultimate. The issue is that I think this is a good set to put on them. Oop. I think these two are good to put on them, but I don't think they're going to be the most beneficial. Rather, because he's doing so much shadow damage everywhere, I think it's more beneficial to go ahead and place this one, the hell one, on him, because of the shadow damage and everything that you have going on here. I think this is going to be more beneficial. And then the owl right here, the ambush of the owl, because it's going to increase melee damage by 10%. You're doing that consistently, and then when hitting an enemy with a normal attack, increases skill damage by 5% for 7 seconds, which you are doing consistently. And then when landing a skill hit on the enemy, increases normal attack damage by 15% for 7 seconds. I think the combination of these two, you're going to be outputting more damage overall. Whereas with these two, it's good, but it's not. I don't believe it's going to be more beneficial, especially this one right here. So I think the owl and the shadow one is going to be the way to go. But that is just my recommendation, my 2 cents. You can go ahead. If you already had these built up, it's understandable. Just go ahead and use them. You don't have to really waste more resources than you probably already have building these up, especially if you level 60 reconstructed them. Just use them. They're going to work out fine. But if you haven't done that already and you're still in the process of building man like I am, I would recommend going with the shadow and with the owl. That's just my opinion. Once again, my 2 cents. You can let me know down in the comments below what you think. Now, moving over to where were we left off? I believe Aether codes. So speaking about the Aether codes, I can't really speak on them too much, just because once again, I don't have them unlocked. Warps, we need to talk about warps, which I can't really talk about. I would, when it comes to warps, I'd probably do something very similar like I have with Bastet. Just once again, not the skill cooldown. I would go melee damage, executioner, go with the skill ups and things of that nature, right? The traditional DPS route. When it comes to the Aether codes, Can't really speak on the Aether codes too much because, as you can see, I don't have any of them unlocked. But I think from what I've seen from the CN side, like all red is for bosses, all blue I think it's just in general for DPS. So you could keep that in mind. Maybe all red would be the best way to go just in general, but I'm not too sure when it comes to Aether codes. Unfortunately, I don't have them built out. So that's the only thing. But in this video, what I really wanted to harp on and really provide you is the sigils, the access key and the signature functor, and the skills, what you need to know about them and what's important. Other than that, I have to wait until I have them built up properly to be able to give you the rest of my thoughts and my in-depth analysis of them. So anyways, besides that, my overall impressions of Anubis, using him in the trial, which they use the recommended set in the trial, and he still cooks. He does really well. I think he's a great modifier. Oh, team builds as well. In terms of teams, I think Basset's going to be a very good teammate with him, as well as Sobek. So you can do Anubis, Sobek, and Basset. That can be a very good team for the Nile Gen Zone, the ultimate skill chain. And then Basset, she shreds the resistance of shadow from the enemies, so that allows Anubis to hit a little bit harder. Another good team that you can put together if you don't have Sobek built up like I don't, is Basset, Anubis, and Hera. That's going to be a very good team. Or Anubis and Hera and Sobek. That'll be another very good team. You could also put Hell alongside of them for that shadow damage up. It's always a good thing. And Basset alongside of them. Once again, just really depends on what you have on your account. And who you have built up and who you like to use. Once again, the Nile Gen Zone is lacking a bit, so there's not a whole lot to choose from when it comes to that. But if you have Basset built up, then she's going to be good to pair with them in terms of the Nile Gen Zone. And then from there you can put whatever other supporting character alongside of them that will do really well. You know, even Arcticus Poseidon, always go back to. Heimdall might be a sneaky good option. Oneroy, whatever you have, whatever is going to fit in that third slot. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I do hope the video was helpful. Hopefully, once again, you got some value from it, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I do truly appreciate it. It means the world to me, and I hope you have a great day. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name is Cody. You call me further. I'll see you all next one. Bye, guys.